to the Quarterback Film Room. This is founder Brian Trulin. Okay, thank you for joining us wherever you may be watching, whenever you may be watching this video. But we've been touching upon in our most recent video the quarterback landscape throughout the NFC. Okay, so just essentially ranking each division, establishing a pecking order of sorts. So we've done the NFC. Today we're going to focus on the AFC. It's June 29th, and everyone knows for probably about the next 4 weeks, this period of time can be considered the dead period in terms of what's happening in the National Football League. Training camps kick off for everybody that last week in July, probably starting around the 26th to 27th, stretching on into August 1. Okay, so there's people around the country, okay, national media people, firms within the online football community, which we are a part of, that will be turning over every rock and stone throughout the next month, hoping, searching, trying to find relevant information that's happening when simply there's just nothing there, okay? So how does that affect us here at the Quarterback Film Room? Well, we're not going to be producing new content until around week 1 of the preseason, okay? So that's when we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of our tape study, examining quarterback situations, tape, you know, all that good stuff will begin once the preseason hits. Okay, so, but alternatively, we are knee deep right now at the end of June. Okay, in our 2017 Pro QB Almanac. Okay, so it's essentially an in-depth, thorough scouting publication of every single roster quarterback in the league. 112 to 115 quarterbacks will be evaluated thoroughly, accurately. We will scour the tape from 2014 to 2016. If we have to go back to preseason tape, we will. All right, but every single guy needs to be graded out accurately, and that's what we're in the midst of right now. Okay, so we hope to release that within 2 weeks, the middle of July. Okay, and if you are so inclined to purchase this 2017 Pro QB Almanac, you can do so for $12.95. We believe that it's an invaluable resource for fantasy football owners, in-depth fans, anybody who is crazy about the quarterback position and wants to find really, really valuable content in terms of scouting content on every single quarterback in the league, every single one. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you're inclined to check it out, purchase it, $12.95. I'll post a link below the video. Okay, let's move on to the main theme of the video, and that is ranking the quarterbacks in each respective AFC division. Okay, so starting in the East. Okay, so obviously we have Tom Brady, number 1. Okay, he's probably the best quarterback in the league. Okay, and that's not a statement that anybody wouldn't make. Okay, but he's number 1. He's said that he wants to play anywhere from like 3 to 6 more years. If anybody can do it, he can. But he's number 1. He's coming off a Super Bowl win. If they can bottle up and continue to carry forth into 2017, the momentum that second half of the Super Bowl created, they're going to be in prime position again to be in a position to make a Super Bowl run. Okay, so Tom Brady's number 1. Number 2, a lot of people would have Ryan Tannehill at number 2. And it was almost a damn tie between Ryan Tannehill and Tyrod Taylor for that number 2 slot. Okay, essentially. So Tyrod was brought into Buffalo with Rex Ryan. And, up until Rex Ryan had Tyrod, he had Mark Sanchez, he had Greg McElroy, he had Tim Tebow, he had Geno Smith, he had, all these guys who weren't really known as mobile quarterbacks. So he hitched his wagon to Tyrod. He said, I want a mobile guy who has a powerful arm, who can throw the deep ball, and who can create out of structure. All things that Tyrod has shown on film that he can do at an elite level, but there's just too much inconsistent nature in his game as a pure passer, okay, in terms of him using anticipatory skills, throwing accurately, consistently, and just knowing where to go with the football on time. Okay, so he still struggles with that aspect of his game, but he's a top 3 running threat at the quarterback position in the league. Okay, he plays well in pressure situations. He has a strong arm. He can make some big-time throws, Tyrod can. And he throws a pretty darn good deep ball. Okay, so he narrowly edged Ryan Tannehill, who came in at number 3. Ryan is a guy who struggled initially in 2016 under Adam Gase, but around the halfway point of the season, Ryan really picked up steam. He started to build momentum. He started to make big-time throws and probably play at the best level that we've seen Tannehill perform at since his rookie year under then offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, Mike Sherman. Okay, so Tannehill, obviously, he had the ACL in December. But he's going to come back strong from that, and theoretically, he should pick up where he left off in Adam Gase's system. So he's number 3, and then number 4 will be Christian Hackenberg. There's no way in hell that Josh McCown is the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. Okay, he was brought there to be a mentor/coach. Bryce Petty, people will say, well, maybe Bryce Petty will challenge for the job. Bryce Petty showed enough on tape last year that will garner him an extended NFL life in terms of possibly 3 to 5 years left as a backup in the league. But there's just way too many holes in Bryce Petty's game as a pure thrower. He's proven that the transition from the spread offense at Baylor is just too much for him, and he's got a little hitch in his delivery as well. Okay, so Bryce Petty probably will end up making the roster. Okay, be either a QB 2 or 3, but it's Hackenberg's job. Obviously, Hackenberg has easily the highest ceiling out of any 3 of those guys. And they're going to, see what Hack's got, okay? So the East is set. The AFC North, Big Ben's number 1. He floated the idea of, haphazardly retiring after last year. Obviously, that didn't happen. So in terms of what he's been able to show over the course of the past 4 to 6 years, Big Ben that is, he's still number 1 in the AFC North in terms of playing the position, extending out of structure, and then also having that tremendous rapport with the Steeler wide receiving corps. Joe Flacco's number 2. Okay, so Flacco comes in at number 2. Powerful arm, yet he can still throw with precision over linebackers, around second-level defenders, and he's very, very accurate, and he throws with great anticipation. Okay, and he's a better athlete than people think. So Flacco's number 2. Number 3, Andy Dalton. He's not too far behind Flacco, honestly. Andy Dalton is. But I feel like we've seen Dalton's ceiling playing under Hugh Jackson probably about 2 to 3 years ago. Okay, so that's as high as he can go. He had a little bit of a down year last year, but he's still the starter in Cincy. But I could see Dalton nosediving in 2017, or I could also see him, ensuring that Cincinnati is competitive in the playoff hunt. Okay, so he's number 3. And then number 4 is going to end up being probably Brock Osweiler. Okay, so he's the guy who I think is the clear-cut choice to begin the season as a starter. Hugh Jackson and company should hitch their wagon to Brock because the alternative is a Deshaun Kaiser who is just not ready to play, not ready to start. Obviously, he's the future. And then Cody Kessler, who played unexpectedly last year, performed pretty well at times. So he's going to push Brock, but I just think Cody has such a limited arm that I don't really see him winning the job over Brock Osweiler. Okay, moving to the South, Andy Luck returns at number 1. He was hurt last year as well, so he's still in rehabilitation mode. Hopefully rehab's going well, but he opens the year at number 1 for the Colts. And then in terms of who's behind Luck, we've got Marcus Mariota coming in at number 2. He is in a very, very quarterback-friendly system with head coach Mike Mularkey. Okay, evidence on tape last year, Marcus Mariota performed really, really well, really, really comfortable in that Titans offense. Okay, so he's surrounded by running back talent. They just signed Eric Decker, and then they got the security blanket in Delaney Walker. Okay, and then Mike Mularkey does a great job of scheming up route combinations and designs a passing game for Marcus Mariota to make quick decisions and to be very, very decisive. Okay, and then from that point, it's just him making plays with his natural talent. And then number 4, Blake Bortles. Okay, this is literally a last chance for Blake Bortles. Okay, frankly, he should have been benched last year. Honestly, I don't know why they haven't gone to Chad Henne. Okay, Chad Henne's a better quarterback than him, but he's going to open up the year as number 1, And if by the middle of October there is no progress, or worse, there's even a regression from 2016 into 2017 for Bortles, they're going to turn to Brandon Allen, who's a second-year undrafted guy out of Arkansas, who is similar to Jimmy Garoppolo. So Brandon Allen, remember that name, he may start in 2017 for Jacksonville. Okay, so that basically sums up that division, and then we head westward. We have, obviously Derek Carr has catapulted himself to number 1 on that list. Just signed the big deal. Derek Carr is the closest thing to Aaron Rodgers from an arm talent perspective in the league. Behind him, Phillip Rivers is at the number 2 position, but he could be number 3 too. Okay, but let's just say Phillip's number 2 heading into LA. Maybe he is rebirthed with the move. He seems like he still has energy, young and vibrant in terms of his nature. So maybe Phillip has another rebound year, but he really regressed too last year. Phillip did now. Okay, so maybe some of that had to do with their offensive coordinator / head coach last year, Mike McCoy. Okay, but he opens at number 2. Number 3, Trevor Siemian. He's ahead of Alex Smith. Trevor Siemian, number 3, the way he was able to step in, essentially as a rookie last year, lead the troops, make anticipation throws with regularity, play with very, very good poise. Okay, so Siemian opens at number 3. Supposedly, it's an open competition between TS and Paxton Lynch. We'll see if that actually is the case. And then finally, number 4, Alex Smith. Alex Smith could easily be 3rd too on this list, or even 2. But in our estimation, he's number 4. He's going to be entering training camp with diminished confidence in terms of them selecting Patrick Mahomes, trading up to grab Mahomes early in round 1. Okay, so Mahomes is the future. Is the future in 2017 or is it in 2018? We don't know. Alex Smith is a competent quarterback, but this could be a down year for him as well.